Not a particularly sunny day today, but that's okay because today I'm going to be working on the outside of the solar shed. These panels have been on my shed roof now for a good while, and they're not mounted in a very neat way. See the wires there and those cheap brackets which are rusting, and I think it's time for an improvement. So how else do you improve? By adding. So here's some more solar panels, and I took delivery of these a couple of days ago. There's two there in the box. There's 100 watt monocrystalline solar panels, and if we look at the back, there we can see 100 watt plus or minus 3%, maximum power point 18 volts, 5.56 amps at that maximum power point. These are branded as Enjoy Solar. So I've bought 3 lengths of unistrut bar to mount these panels so that they can sit a little bit proud of the shed roof, and they come with these bolts which clip in, turn through 90 degrees, and I should be able to bolt down the solar panel quite happily using these penny washers. But first jobs first, I need to remove all the existing solar panels and fill some of the holes that it's going to generate. Now, I did buy this mount with the intention of occasionally changing the angle of my solar panels, lifting them up in winter, and even flattening them off in summer. But actually I very rarely do that, and the houses over the other side of the road, lifting it up in winter isn't much of an advantage, so therefore I'm going to get rid of this bracket. Yeah, so I definitely need to fill these holes. That's not going to stay watertight, is it? But I've got some Skiraflex, is that how you pronounce it? Which seems to hold the water out pretty well. Now with all those holes repaired, it's almost as good as new. Almost. So I've laid the array of solar panels out on the grass so that I can work out exactly how long I need this unistrut bar, when the bolts and the nuts and everything else and the solar panels all connected. In between each panel there'll just be one of those at the top and one at the bottom. I will need to find some solution for the fact that my original 50 watt panels are slightly less thick than the new panels, but they all should be fairly neat, and we've got the same at that end. So now I know exactly the length that I'm dealing with, I can now cut my unistrut bar down to size. Now it's a rare outing for the angle grinder because this is pretty tough stuff, so I need to cut it there. So I've got face protection and ear protection. Good luck, everybody. So this is the plan for attaching this unistrut to the roof. A hole through the actual shed roof, a washer underneath, and then this massive washer on top. Hopefully spread the load and any forces. And then this long nut, which I think are designed to connect 2 bolts together, to be honest. So I'm using that to lift the unistrut off the shed roof. A penny washer on top of there. Then the unistrut, another penny washer, and finally the nut. And with 2 or 3 of those along each length of unistrut, I'm hoping this is going to be all strong enough for any high winds. Obviously it's quite difficult being both on the inside and the outside of the shed at the same time, so I use these mole grips which will tighten down on the head of the bolt, and then I can tighten it from the other side. And of course only seconds later the other 2 are up as well, so I've got 3, and intentionally the gap here is less than the gap over here. Hopefully I'll remember to explain why that is later. And before these panels go back up on the roof, which they're almost about ready to do, they need a good wash, because look, there's bird poo and all sorts of dust and crud on there, so I'll give them a good wash. So the first panel's up and you can see it's going alright. I've got to move this next one up into next to it. You can see why I've put the 50 watts at this end, because this post here and the fence, it would get shaded a little bit, but these will be fine up here. So the next one will go there next to it, and I'm going to wire every single panel individually down into the shed, and the idea is I'll be able to change whether they're in series or parallel from inside the shed without getting on the roof, although it does mean slightly longer cable runs. Now with all the black panels up, I think that looks pretty neat, and you'll notice that I didn't cut these rails short, and the reason there is I'm going to try and fit that white panel there, at least temporarily, but I think that looks pretty good. And this is what it looks like from the side, and I do have some plastic caps on order, black plastic caps to go over the ends, and the wires come down there on the outside of the shed. And I don't think that's too bad. And there we are, complete. This white one I think will get a bit shaded. We might have to see how much power it can produce there, but I'm pretty pleased with that job. There's just a load of wiring to do now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you can, comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.